If you're thinking about selling your home on your own to save the listing agent commission, I want you to pause for a moment because in most cases, for sale by owner sellers end up walking away with less money, not more. And that is not because they're not smart. It's because selling a home is not a simple task, it's a professional process. From the outside, it might look easy, but every job looks easy from the outside. Once you get into it, you realize how complicated it really is. And selling a home is no different. Hi, my name is Dar Marden. I'm a realtor and a CPA in Orange County. And I'm here to tell you that not all agents are the same. Selling a home properly requires experience, know-how, a deep understanding of the current market condition, and precision. And when that is missing, it will cost you money. Let's cover a number of issues in that process. Point number one, selling a home is not about opening the front door and saying, here's the kitchen and here's the living room. Everybody can see that on their own. The real skill is to know how to prepare the home, how to position it, where to invest money, how much to spend, what upgrades to do, and how not to waste money. There are real techniques and real knowledge behind doing those things properly. You have to be selective, intentional, and careful. You need to spend enough money to bring your home in line with similar homes in the neighborhood. Otherwise, you're being penny wise and pound foolish. You're trying to save a little, but you end up losing a lot more by not doing the right things from the beginning because you don't have the right guidance. You don't have the expertise. In other words, you're stepping over dollars to pick up pennies. And that is exactly where inexperienced sellers lose money. A home has to be prepared properly so it presents well. Buyers can picture themselves living there, feeling good about the space, and want to buy it. And when that happens, you get less negotiations, less resistance, and fewer price reductions. Point number two, preparation creates emotions. Preparation is not about making the home perfect. It's about making the buyers feel something in their heart. If the home is dark, fix the lighting. If it feels dated, update it strategically. Because here is the truth. Buyers don't just buy a home, they buy a feeling. And if your home feels dated, tired, or neglected, you have already negotiated against yourself and you're pushing the price lower. It's okay to buy an older home, but it's not okay to sell a dated home if you want top dollars, because dated homes sell for a discount. Point number three, pricing is the hook. Let's talk about pricing. Most FSBO sellers think, I'm going to price my home higher and I will leave room for negotiation. Not in today's market, when we have a glut of inventory. This is one of the biggest mistakes you can make, probably the biggest mistake. Pricing is not about the final number. Pricing is there to create demand. Pricing is the hook, is the bait. The purpose of the pricing is to bring as many buyers to the property as possible. You know why? Because more buyers, that means more traffic and more emotional connections to the home. More emotional connections, that means more competition and better offers. This is how you drive the price up. I'm not saying to lower the price to get less money. I'm saying price it correctly so it looks like it's a great value, sometimes even slightly below the market, to increase the traffic and create multiple offers. And believe me, it works. It works every time. Point number four, shark agents will outplay you. If you're not fully versed in what you're supposed to do, you can end up dealing with shark agents who will take advantage of every single thing that you might not know. And that is when the process becomes very difficult. They confuse you to get their way. They know how to find weaknesses. They know how to pressure you into negotiations by making small matter look much bigger. And they know how to use the inspection, the paperwork, and the timeline to their advantage. So if you don't know exactly what you're doing and you're not an agent yourself, you are walking into a game when the other side already knows how to beat you. They have your number. Point 5. Here's what a lot of FSBO sellers miss. There are 5 major issues that can kill a deal during inspection: HVAC, water leaks and piping, foundation, roof, and electrical. You do not save money by ignoring those problems. You increase your problems. If you leave them alone, they will come back in escrow, and the buyer will either ask for a huge credit or they will walk away. These are big ticket items. So before you list your home, you need to look at the big 5 items and handle them efficiently with the least amount of cost. In today's market, it's already hard enough to find a good buyer. Do not lose one over issues that you could have addressed upfront. You don't need to fix every cosmetic item, but you do need to fix the things that destroy the buyer's confidence and they can get out of your deal. Because when the confidence drops, your negotiation power drops, and you will be forced to either give them a credit or drop your price. I have a separate video on the big 5s. I will put a link at the end of this video. Point number 6, legal exposure and disclosures. This is another part that most sellers underestimate. Do you know what you have to disclose, how to disclose it, when to disclose it, where to disclose it? And if you get them wrong, if you disclose them wrong, you're exposing yourself to liability even after the sale is completed and is closed. Selling a home is not just marketing and putting the house in the market. It's negotiation, paperwork, legal protections, disclosures, and risk management. This is not something you guess your way through, even though you might have done it once. Things changed all the time. You're exposed. An experienced agent can guide you through exactly what you have to do to protect yourself and to protect your deal. The more you disclose, the right amount of disclosure, the better off you are. Do not leave things to chance, because later a buyer can come back and say you were dishonest in the sales process and you didn't tell me what was wrong with the house. Point 7, financial strategy. Now, let's say you're selling an investment property. Do you know that you can defer the taxes on that? Do you know how to defer the taxes legally? Do you know how to structure a 1031 exchange so you don't have to pay taxes on the sale of your property? Do you know the timelines, the rules, and how the proceeds have to be handled? Because one mistake here can cost you tens of thousands of dollars because you might lose the tax-deferred status of the exchange. So let me try to bring our conversation to an end. When I hear someone says, I want to sell it myself to save the commission, I really do understand the intention. It feels expensive. But here's the reality. Just because you want to save the commission, that doesn't mean you end up making more money. Very often, you're being penny wise and pound foolish. You're trying to save a little bit of money, but you end up losing a lot more through poor pricing, weak presentation, missed negotiations, and unnecessary risk and liability that you're buying for yourselves. In other words, you're stepping over dollars to pick up pennies. You may be a doctor, an attorney, a CPA. You could be incredibly intelligent in your own field of work. But that does not mean that you know how to maximize the value of a home sale and to protect yourself through that process. And I'm telling you, selling the home yourself is not how you maximize the value of your home. If you're thinking about selling your home, let's have a conversation. No pressure, no obligation. Let's build a clear strategy that protects you, simplifies the chaos, and puts you in the strongest position possible. As I always say, together we can use this information to protect you and do something great together. The link to connect with me is in the description. Take care.